Hello everyone. I'm feeling a bit nervous about doing this video. I have just been chanting for world peace on Armistice Day, and I felt really compelled. I felt really strongly that I wanted to make a video about this. I've been chanting for world peace and I've actually been sitting here crying my eyes out, thinking about war and the futility of war, and wondering when we will ever learn. I do. On the other hand, I do feel that there's hope, and I want us all to focus on peace, because what you focus on is what you get. And there's a story about Mother Teresa, and she was asked to go on an anti-war rally, something like that, and she said, I won't go on an anti-war rally, but I'll go on a pro-peace rally. And like I say, I want us to focus on peace. I really want us all to pray or focus. If you don't believe in prayer, focus on peace and focus on the world being a better place. I chant for world peace nearly every day, and I pray for world peace nearly every day, or the golden age, or as we call it in Buddhism, Kotum Rufu. And I felt really strongly that I wanted to chant for world peace, particularly on Armistice Day. I was brought up as a Jehovah's Witness, and we didn't believe in poppies. We didn't have Armistice. We didn't believe in Armistice Day. And that's because Jehovah's Witnesses are anti-war, and during the world wars, Jehovah's Witnesses, certainly in the last World War, I'm not sure about both of them, Jehovah's Witnesses were put in prison because they wouldn't go to war, because they were pacifists. Now, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, as you probably know if you know me, with the Jehovah's Witnesses religion. However, that is one thing I do agree with. I am definitely pro-peace, and I don't agree with war at all, full stop. And I for a long time as an adult, when I left the religion, I still wouldn't wear a poppy, or wouldn't, didn't really think about Remembrance Sunday or Armistice Day, and I don't really know much about it. But as I've got older, I really feel passionately about all the soldiers who have died in war on any side, because whatever side they're on, they are dying for their country, and they're dying for a cause that they believe in. And I was thinking, as I was chanting, about Hiroshima, and there's some videos on YouTube from Hiroshima survivors, and it's just horrific. And I don't like to focus on the negative at all, and yet we can't gloss over this with toxic positivity or spiritual bypassing. We have to understand that there are these horrors in the world, and we have to do something about it. I don't want to spend loads of time dwelling on it, but I do think it's important to know the horrors of war, and for us to make a decision that this has got to stop. So I encourage you, it's horrible, but I encourage you to look at the videos on, if you Google YouTube, I'll see if I can find it and post a link to it in the comments or in my bio. I think they were posted by the SGI, which is the Nichiren Buddhism organisation that I practice Buddhism with. And in the Buddhism that I practice, it is very anti-war. We've been involved in I can't remember what it's called, Declaration for the Abolishment of Nuclear Weapons or something like that, and I wrote a blog post about that a few years ago. And the Buddhism that I practice is a Japanese Buddhism, so of course there are lots of links there with Hiroshima, and I think the videos that I watched were SGI videos. Like I say, I'll try and find a link to those. And I also thought about films that are fictional but based on reality. I saw Dunkirk a few years ago, and in some ways it's horrible. It's the worst film, but it's also such an important film. It scared the shit out of me, and it scared the shit out of me mainly because it's a true story. And things like also Oppenheimer, such an important message, which I saw recently. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And also thought about my granddad. Before he died, he had Alzheimer's, and he used to talk. He took part in World War II, and he used to talk about the war a lot, but he always talked about it in a jokey way and like an entertaining way. But just before he died, when he had Alzheimer's, he started talking about the war and his experiences, and it just like really touched my heart. And I was thinking about this when I was chanting, and I was thinking about this and Hiroshima and what's going on at the moment in Gaza and Palestine and Israel, and I was just crying my eyes out as I was chanting. I remember my granddad, I can't remember exactly the story that my granddad told me about, but it was something to do with a German child, and my granddad's interaction with him. And my granddad got really tearful when he was talking about it. And yeah, it's just terrible what the soldiers have to go through, with the horrors that they see, the horrors that they experience. So many of them lose their lives. You know, I just can't imagine how awful it is. And I count myself so lucky that I live in the first world. I have hot water, I have central heating, I have food, and I'm really grateful for that. So what I'm trying, I'm going to change hands because my arm's aching. I've been talking for a long time, probably waffling, but my point is, can we focus on peace? Can we focus on prayer? I think I said this earlier, but if you don't believe in God, just please can you focus on peace and love and send love. I'm a big believer in the power of prayer, and in the power of love, and in the power of meditation. I know that there was an experiment where in New York they did some kind of meditation experiment, and as a result of that, there's actual evidence that crime reduced in New York as a result of that. And I think I've written a blog post on that in my meditation blog post. I think it's covered in that. Also, there was a few years ago when I know the UK, I think, were debating in Parliament about bombing Syria or something like that. I can't remember what it was now, but there was lots of people chanting for peace and for a peaceful outcome, and there was people all over the world meditating on it. And the result was that we didn't bomb Syria. Now, clearly, the situation in Syria is far from ideal. I'm just trying to demonstrate the power of focusing, whether it's prayer or meditation, or just simply focusing on love and peace. I don't know what else to say, really. I think the world is crazy at the moment. We're living in really difficult times for so many reasons, and yet we also have so many opportunities available to us. I think we are moving to a better world and a better place, and I think that as the power of the collective consciousness is incredibly powerful, and when one person focuses on something, it's powerful, but it's multiplied when lots of people are all focusing on the same thing. And I feel that we're at a crossroads, we're at a crisis point, and I do think things are going to get better. I think they're probably going to get worse I think they're already getting worse before they get better. And I think it's really down to the collective consciousness, what we have a choice here. How are we going to how are we going to change things? And the way that we change things is by changing ourselves. And we talk about that a lot in the Buddhism that I practice, how when we change ourselves, that it's like, I think the president, Ikeda, who's the president of the SGI, talks about a revolution in ourselves. And that's how we change the world. Imagine if it feels like such a small thing, you know, what can I do? And before I posted this video, I was thinking, really, me? Everyone's going to be thinking, oh, who does she think she is talking about world peace? You know, why is she talking about world peace? Well, hopefully I'm going to touch somebody's heart. And, you know, what if everybody in the world was focused on love and peace? You know, if we were all focused on that, the world would be a better place. And I know I've often been accused of being an idealist, and that I'm not realistic. But what would the world be like if everyone was idealistic? I don't know. Maybe something to think about. Maybe I am naive. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel really passionately that things have got to change. And like I say, the power of prayer, the power of meditation, the power of love. So yeah, please, please, please pray for peace and send love. And if you don't believe in prayer, then can you at least just focus on love and peace? I'd love to know what you think. Please don't troll me. Anyway, sending loads of love to you all. Take care. Bye.